I am Janelle Simone, and I am the founder of Shop Bob. And what I wanted to do when I created Shop Bob, I wanted to create a space where I can highlight businesses, talk about what they're doing, the why behind their business. And of course, I wanted to be able to create a space that raises money for nonprofits. So nonprofits has been a real dear platform to my heart because I've spent many years traveling the country raising money for nonprofits on a national level, as well as storefronts. Shout out to Bugs who just popped in. We are doing some really big things because I'm looking to partner with Black-owned businesses, Latinx-owned businesses, to help them increase awareness for what they have, as well as raise money for nonprofits. So right now, we're still building that platform. So if you are interested, if you're a business owner, I want to feature you. I want to help support you. I want to help your business grow. So on top of that, I wanted to make sure that I created a platform where I can really take the time to introduce you to businesses. Because there's one thing that I've noticed when I'm searching for businesses, like I want to know more about the product. I want to know more about the owner. And I know you do too. So I am excited to start Shop Bob Live each and every week. I am bringing you influential business owners, founders, and industry experts that can give you tips to help you grow your business. And I gotta say, I got a lot of great friends out there. So it wasn't really hard to find my first guest for the first few weeks because we are out here working. Yes, my friends work. We have double jobs. We the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. We are all that and so much more. And I am happy to share this platform with them just to show you exactly what they're doing behind the scenes. And so for tonight, I am super excited because I'm going to be speaking with one owner who really changed his entire lifestyle and created it into a brand. And tonight I've got a special guest for you. I am bringing to you a gentleman, if that is not the perfect word for him, a gentleman who not only single-handedly created a brand just by doing what he do day by day. He's cultivated this brand from music to fashion and so much more. And right now, I'm going to go ahead and bring in an amazing guest, friend of mine, owner of Lafayette and Grand. I am bringing to you DJ CEO.
Hey, what's happening? What's happening?
What is going on? Okay, I already knew you was gonna come stunting. I already knew because you don't play games.
I don't. What's happening?
I'm so happy to have you with me today. First off, let me first say happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
It is a
Yeah,
beautiful thing to celebrate, especially after the 2 years that we've had. I count it all joy. So I celebrate and I honor you on this evening. I'm
thank
so
you so
happy
much.
that you get the chance to join me tonight. And if you would, please introduce to the audience tonight who you are and what you do.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I want to cheers to you,
Thank you.
Janelle, for this platform that you created for Black business owners. Um, my name, for those of you who don't know, my name is DJ CEO. I'm an international DJ based out of New York City. I've been DJing for about 20 years or so, making my name in that space. And I'm also now uh, the owner and designer for my own fashion brand, Lafayette and Graham, which is, it's getting a little buzz. It's getting a little buzz. So, yeah.
So going back to the beginning, because I've known you for quite a few years and I did connect with you in that music space. And the one thing
Mhm.
about you that I absolutely love is that before anybody was really creating brands, I think you really was the forefront of that because you created a whole entire, I'm trying to think of the best word to say it, but you came with a whole ambiance because they knew if they was hiring you as a DJ, they was going to have style, class, like you came.
So we can look like a team. You know, that was just pretty much the idea of it all. And then, you know, immediately I noticed that the women took notice. And then I was like, oh, I was like, I think we got something. Like we got something. So, so then I then made it, I was very intentional about just making it part of where I was as a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked around, and at least within, you know, New York City at the time, there was no real social media and marketing around DJs like that. So there were no DJs that were dressing up and like really getting fly. Like every, you know, we were in our urban fly, if you will. It would be like a polo bear sweater, you know, things of that nature, whatever. So I was just kind of stepping it up, and I was doing something I felt that would match the name CEO. So in the beginning, I'll admit, I wouldn't say I was the most stylish, but I was very different in the sense that, you know, I was coming in suits. You know, I was fashion aware, but it wasn't how I am now, which is really more about style.
Okay.
And then just over time, it kind of just evolved and developed. But I definitely would say I was like the first one to be like, I know I was the only one calling myself the best dressed DJ. You know, and I was doing it as a marketing thing. Like, you know, there was so many dope DJs out there. Like, what can I do to stand out? And so that was that I focused on that. So
even matching, because you would definitely have coined that phrase, the best dressed DJ. And so when it comes to music, and because you've done a lot of like on location, I think you was in Vegas for a while too, right? You was doing.
Yeah, I was in Vegas. I was in Vegas for 5 years. Yeah.
Right. So you've really created a brand in itself. Now within that, how did you go by even thinking of making your everyday, your day-to-day lifestyle actually make money for you, where now it almost branded itself as you being the best dressed DJ, where people already know? Like, how was that process? Because in that time, you're absolutely right. The DJs was not dressed. They were wearing all black. They were hiding behind their laptops.
Yeah.
They barely knew their names, and you really made this lifestyle be your brand.
Well, first I'm gonna say this. I was still on vinyl when I decided to do that. I was still spinning vinyl, so it was tough. Like kind of getting dressed and having to carry crates. It wasn't fun. I can tell you that much. To be honest, a lot of this stuff I just winged and freestyle. I think I just was like, yo, I'm just going to do what I want to do, and I'm just going to market me. I think early on it was very difficult because the spaces I was in weren't necessarily high fashion spaces, weren't necessarily places where people were like uniquely stylish. I think people were just kind of stylish in the kind of the herd sense, you know, especially in the early 2000s, like once Jay-Z said button downs and whatever, so every dude was coming, you know, it was very kind of uniform.
Yes.
And then I think the big change for me when I was able to kind of like turn it into money and really kind of turn this into kind of like a profitable brand is when my buddy Mike and I started the Influence series that we used to do on Monday nights. We did a couple spots in the city, but that crowd and that event was very, very fashion forward, very much a lot of creatives and very much people who were kind of in the know or on the cusp of like, you know, pushing things forward. So that was a place where I was able to really kind of develop and hone my style because there was a lot of inspiration in the room. And then from that, you know, just learning from other people in the industry, learning from brand professionals. Here's what you need to do. Here's, you know, what you should think about doing, you know, as far as like marketing and promotion. This is when hashtags really started to become a thing. It's like, hey, you got to come up with a tagline and all this type of stuff. So, you know, that's what it was. I really benefited greatly from my circle. I had a lot of people that were far more advanced than I was in the brand space and understanding how to do it. And then that was it. So.
Okay, so now let's talk about how this has transformed into a whole new business venture for you that seems seamless within the brand because now you're moving forward as a designer in
Mhm.
fashion. Talk to me about, like, because you work all the time. At what point did you say, yeah, I want to spend the rest of my day that I usually rest to create a whole nother company?
Uh, well, I'll be the first to admit I was very naive about what goes into creating a clothing line. Like that
Mhm.
was, but in that sense, thank God for the pandemic, right? So for a long time, my focus was really just to find a company to pair up with, like an existing clothing brand, and become like a brand ambassador or a spokesmodel, something like that.
Mhm.
And it just wasn't moving the way I wanted to move. And then in 2019, I came up with the idea. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just start my own. Like I'm just, do my own thing. And I really didn't get to do much because, like you said, I was just working so much, like a lot. And so all I did was I got like a sample T-shirt, and like that was it. But when I got that sample T-shirt, I that one T-shirt let me know that this was the right path because the feedback I got just on that one T-shirt was like, "Yo, let me know when it's coming out." And I was like, "All right, cool, like I got something." But I was still super super busy. And then 2020 hit, and the pandemic hit, and I
Mhm.
had all this free time.
Mhm.
And so my wife and I, we just spent a lot of time doing a lot of research,
Mhm.
trying to figure out what's the best way to go about doing this.
Mhm.
What's the most cost efficient way about doing, all these different things. And so we sort of got the ball rolling, but there was just so much that went into it that it took a long time to get to the launch spot. Building out a website, figuring out what platform you want to go to, understanding this e-commerce thing. Um, so we took all of 2020, and then in March of 2021, I officially launched Lafayette and Grand. And even then, like I thought, like, oh, the bulk of it is like behind me. It's like no, and now it really, really starts. So again, fortunately with the pandemic, so here's what I was able to do.
Yes.
I was I was in a place financially where I wasn't pressed up. Like I got to go out and DJ. I got to go out and do this. I got to go out and make this money. So I was
Mhm.
able to take a lot of my energy and focus specifically on the brand only.
Okay.
So I wasn't really, I was doing a lot of virtual stuff for like corporate clients.
Mhm.
So I was getting money that way, and less time. I don't have to travel. Like I'm in the house.
Mhm.
So I was just focused on every day. I would just design like 4 or 5 different pieces every day. And then I would order samples and I would get them, and then I would look and go, okay, this is cool, and to fix this. And it was just every day a consistency of constantly like working on the brand and working on the company. I would call friends like, yo, I'm trying to build this website. I made the foolish mistake of going with Squarespace because Squarespace was pretty to me, right? Squarespace,
Aesthetically.
I was like, oh, this is nice, this is shiny, or whatever. And on top of that, I already had a Square account. I did a lot of business through Square,
Okay.
but Square is not really ideal for e-commerce. It's just
Commerce.
not.
Mhm.
So then I had to go through the process of transferring over to Shopify. And I
Mhm.
was told, yo, help me figure this out, boom, boom, boom. So finally, I got my site at Shopify, and I'm in a really, really, really good place. And I just kept pushing it. So like the introduction of Lafayette and Grand,
Mhm.
I tell everybody like Ralph Lauren is like my muse, my inspiration.
Okay.
Like he's my blueprint to follow because that's how a lot of what I do I want to create kind of in that vein. So
Mhm.
like my introduction to the world with Lafayette and Grand was like my polo,
Mhm.
which is why you see like T-shirts. I mean, like the bomber jackets like this, um, you know, stuff of that nature, like real basic stuff where the name of the brand was on everything because I wanted that brand awareness. And that's all polo is. When you look at polo, that's it. You're
Mhm.
either going to see the word polo, or you're going to see the polo man on a horse, or you're going to see
Mhm.
the bear. But that's polo. So
Mhm.
that's what I wanted to do, and I wanted to establish a brand that way. And so I've done that. And I've done that pretty successfully. And now I'm, venturing into where I really want to be, and that's in the luxury space. So I just recently launched my first shoe. I got my own signature sneaker. It's a luxury shoe, and I'm in that space. So now this is like my foyer into like the Ralph Lauren
Uh-huh.
label, and then eventually I'm gonna go into that purple label, and then I'm gonna go into the black and all that type of stuff. So that's the direction I'm going in. And I've been getting amazing feedback. I've had stylists reach out to me. I've had other designers reach out to me. Celebrities reach out to me. So I'm in a good place. I just have to really kind of stay consistent with it.
So as I'm listening to you, I'm like smiling from ear to ear, because I don't know if you've recognized this, but even in your story, you as a DJ and you as a designer literally took the same route when it comes to defining your brand. When you originally started as a DJ in vinyl, you always had this look. This is who you were. But as you started to really narrow down what your brand is as this high fashion, luxury brand, corporate DJ, then things really started opening up and moving. And now you've created this lane, the same exact platform within Lafayette and Grand, where you started with the t-shirt sample, and now you're moving into this luxury brand, and now you're seeing where everything is really starting to roll out for you because you found your niche. And that is amazing. Do you know how many business owners are struggling because they try to create a product for everyone instead of quality product for a small group?
Yeah, I'm not. I refuse to do any. An artist, a creative, an artist in general should never create for the public. We should always create out of inspiration and always create what you want and what you like, and then just put it out there. And there's going to be a demographic, a market, an audience for what you create. So people struggle when they try to create for everybody, because the fact of the matter is you can never please everybody. As a DJ, I know this firsthand. It is impossible to please everyone, right? So if you just create for yourself, if you create out of inspiration, it's like, this is what I really like. This is what I really enjoy. These are the colors I like. These are the patterns I like on DJ. And this is and you just put it out there. There's going to be people there that are going to be like, yo, that's dope. And I'm going to get that. And then they're going to share it, and other people are going to see it's dope because it's genuine. And that's kind of one of the pillars or taglines of Lafayette and Grand. It's an authentic lifestyle brand. It's about just being genuinely. I'm not creating anything to, oh, I want this person. It's like, nah, I love houndstooth, so I made like a bunch of houndstooth items. That's just how I've always been. I've never done anything for the crowd or for the audience. I've always done it based out of my own inspiration and the things that I enjoy, and that's how I've pretty much gotten to every place that I've been. So,
and just to be a fly in a wall, I'm actually kind of curious how your editing process goes when it comes to design, because you said that you've constantly just been designing, and obviously everything that you have designed has not made it to production.
Right.
What's that process like for you when it comes to from design to production?
It really depends. Each item is different. I do bring everything to my wife, like everything. She has a great sense of style, and she's not gonna have me out here looking foolish, right?
That's right.
So if I like it, I might like it. I might love it, and she'd be like, "Oh, you might want to change this," or I might be, and she's good with it. Like when I'm on the fence, she can tell. Like I'm like, something's missing, and she'll look at it and she's like, "Well, how about this?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that works." Or like, "No, that doesn't work," and I'll just scrap the whole thing. I think for the most part, I haven't had too many things end up on the cutting room floor, to be honest. Okay. Mostly everything that I've created has kind of come to fruition. The only things that I've created that folks haven't seen yet is simply because I haven't found the proper manufacturer yet that will give me the result that I want. Okay. Other than that, pretty much everything you've seen is been me going, all right, this is where, like, from bathing suits for the women, to these bomber jackets, to the bucket hats, even to the sneaker. It's like I just literally designed a sneaker in less than 30 minutes. I just knew, yeah, I was just like, oh, this is what I want, boom, 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 boom. And the only thing I was a little uncertain about was this, how I wanted the sole and how I wanted the ankle. And my wife helped me out with that. She was like, no, don't do this, do that. I said, all right, cool. And then I was deciding between two colors for like the cushion and the ankle. And she said, you should go with that one. And that was it. But I did it in like 30 minutes.
Oh, that's incredible. And I love the fact that you have that team where you can really bounce ideas off of. You're supported in that realm. So shout out to your wife for that.
Yeah,
one.
Yes. She holds me down with it, and it's big because especially when it comes to designing women stuff, like I don't know nothing about women. I sometimes like she'll order stuff, and I'm like, that's gonna fit, and because women's sizes are different than men's, right? So I don't know. So like I always go to her with the women's stuff, like what do women wear? Like what do women like? What do women wear? If I'm gonna do, because I'm gonna work on the design of heel, right? I'm like, well, what do they like? How should this, feel? How should this look? The same thing with bathing suits. The same thing with, do women like crop, how they with crop tops and colors and, figuring out how women style themselves, how they dress, and getting that information from her and a couple other friends. I'll reach out to a couple other friends. Like, yo, what do you think? Da, da, da. And women's of different sizes as well. Like, how do you guys dress in this? So it gives me a better idea of how to create one.
But it also helps that you, for menswear as well, that you are a walking billboard for your product. I think it's admirable when a designer wears their own clothes. And I kind of always second guess a designer who never wears their own stuff. Like,
yeah, no. But see, that goes into, like I said, me just, I'm really designing things that I want to wear.
Right.
That's all I'm really doing. I'm designing things that I want to wear. And everybody seems to like what I wear, right? So I'm not going to mess up. I'm not going to change the recipe. Like, I'm going to just keep designing stuff I want to wear. And other people are going to get, and if they like what I was wearing before, then they're going to like this too.
So now we're talking about moving forward. So we have the new shoe line that you have been promoting, the sneakers that you designed in like 30 minutes, which is unheard of. I still can't believe it that they just was like boom. And I love the design. It's absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
I love it. Right, I love it.
The Lafayette and Grand ones, leather with python print.
Yes.
The camo on the piping. Here in the front with the gold rivets. It's the red cushion on the ankle, like I said, Lafayette and Grand. And we got the logo inside. 30 minutes. Something that speaks to luxury, but is very simple as well in this design. So
no, and I love that it's so now, which is perfect for any guy out there. It's funny because I'm gonna tell him my dad right now, and my dad is the type of person that'll walk into a store, look at the mannequin, and just say, "Just give me that." Like he doesn't want to show. He just look at the mannequin and say, "Okay, that's it, done." And so that's why it's so important to be your own billboard where you're wearing your product, you're showing your style, you're being your brand, you're doing this lifestyle. And now for us, like, what do you have next coming up? What is coming on? What's rolling out for you? I know that sound.
Yeah. So again, I'm definitely going to be putting out at least 2 or 3 more shoes before the year is out.
Okay.
But everything's going to be limited edition, and everything's going to be one of one. Right. So you're never going to see this in like different colors. And no, this is it. You can only get this, and you'll never see this design on any other shoe. I have a certificate that pretty much trademarked and patented design, so nobody else will have this design. So you're only going to get this. So I'm gonna work on I'm definitely gonna put out a heel this year. Um, and I haven't really decided what the other two shoes are gonna be just yet.
Okay.
I just had a phone call yesterday. Miami Swim Week is in July.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna have my swimwear, my women's swimwear. That's my brother Lawai. I appreciate it, man. My brother Lawai, I see him in the building. What's up, bro? Happy New Year, man. I appreciate the love. Um, I So the swimwear for is going to be in this fashion show. It's the same people that I did I'm honored to be a part of the fashion show in October down in Miami at the legendary Hampton House. And so I did that, and that was wonderful. So they asked me to be a part of the Miami swimwear
Nice.
fashion show. So I'm gonna have my stuff in there. I need to create. I don't have any swimwear for men, so I'm working on that now. So I can have some swimwear for men involved. I've been asked a couple times for men's swimwear, but I haven't really thought about it. When I think, maybe it's because I'm a man. It's like when I think swimwear, I'm like, women, let's get the women in the swimwear. So I'm working on that. What else? As far as Lafayette and Grant, I'll just can just continue in design and put out some more stuff. I'm going to be designing some more. I had a stylist and a designer reach out to me, and he wants to work with me. So we're gonna establish a relationship and see if we can put out some designs on the luxury side of it all. Because like I said, the sneaker is the introduction to the luxury side. So now I'm gonna do more things. And my wife is really good at this too. Like she'll buy me stuff just for inspiration. Like, look at this. What do you think of this? I'm like, oh, that's ill. I would do this. I would do that. So now when I go into the designing process, whether it be shirts, like, with the dress shirts and just more luxury, stylish kind of things. That's going to be my focus for 2022.
I love that. I love that whole idea. And I think this is one thing that you said that I really want us as a community to really start thinking, and that's collaboration and partnership. And so I love the fact that you are working with partners to help build you up. Partnering with one gives you greater floor to cover. And so I am so in awe of you. Congratulations on Miami Fashion Week. That is like huge for a brand that just launched. You're under 5 years old and you're getting invited to this kind of event. That's incredible.
It's very humbling. It's very awe-inspiring. I'm kind of like, what? Like, why? But also, a lot of this comes from just a lot of established relationships that I've had just being a DJ. If you kind of look at all a lot of successful people in these different spaces, it's just about relationships and, be genuine, create dope stuff, and everything will come your way. What's very interesting is I found out after, the untimely passing of Virgil, because I kept saying this. I'm going to be the first DJ with his own fashion house. I'm going to be the first DJ with his own fashion house. And then I come to find out that Virgil never had a fashion house, but I didn't know that Virgil was a DJ before he got into styles. So no idea. In my mind, I think I'm doing this. Nobody's ever done this. And then I see that Virgil did it. I'm like, oh, that's so good. So
you gotta merge it.
Yeah. So I'm just. I mean, if you look at everybody, even yourself and what you're doing, like people are not. When you see these most multi-hyphenated folks, for the most part, especially the really successful ones, and talented, they're just doing things they always were able to do. We just only knew them as one thing, right?
Yes.
I didn't know that I had the ability to design or style until I did it. Up to this point, I was like, I know how to dress myself. That's it. But now I'm in a position where, I can design stuff that other people are like. I can style people. I had to style when I did the fashion show in Miami. I had to style the models because I had pieces that didn't show up. So I had to figure things out. And I was like, this is a skill set I didn't even know I had. So it's all been a blessing, and all of this is kind of like allowed me to tap into all the gifts that I have. And then, the one thing I've learned, and I will never let go of, is that in order to be successful, you have to have people who are smarter than you around you. I don't know the fashion game like that. I'm still a very much of a baby in this. So I'm always having conversations with people who are in the industry, who know the business of fashion, for advice, for guidance, for, business wise and just design wise. Oh, you should check, oh, go here. They have like cheap fabrics. You should just go there. Or not cheap in like quality, but cheap in like price. Go, you should do this, and, do that. So that's been very beneficial to me.
I love that. And for all of the replay watchers of this, I really hope you rewind that and really take that bit in. It's about keeping the right company around you that's going to take you to the next level. And I love, love, love that. Now, there's one more thing I have to bring up, because as you said, people know you for one thing. They don't even know all the others. So going back to DJ CEO, let's talk real quick about Live from the Living Room.
Yes.
How did this come about on Twitch?
All right. So first of all, let this be known. Please let this be known. I was streaming live. I started Live from the Living Room in 2017. I was streaming live on Instagram, my DJ sets, in 2017. Now, here's what happened. I was very much influenced by the Boiler Room.
Okay.
I'm familiar with the Boiler Room. It's just, pretty much an online party. They have all sorts of DJs. So I was like, yo, I want to do something like that, but I want to make it more boutique. You know what I'm saying? So I was still living in Vegas. I was like, all right, it'll be cool. I'm gonna invite folks to my crib, and I'm just going, I'm a DJ, and I'll have like a little boutique mini house party. It started off cool, people watch it. I didn't stick with it. I'm kind of impatient with a lot of things. And because I really didn't think it through, right? Because I'm like, oh, Instagram has this live streaming feature, like I should go and then people are gonna come. And it's like, no, like at the time, first of all, it wasn't that big of a thing. People weren't really on it. People at work. I was doing like Tuesday afternoon, right? Like people at work. I couldn't get people to commit to come to my crib because all of my friends in Vegas worked in the industry. So like the girls, they'd be, working a pool. It just didn't work out. So I started in 2017. And then I stopped it, and people kept telling me, you should bring it back. I liked it. And I was just like, I'm not doing this for like 3 people. I didn't think the big picture. So I just stopped. And then, of course, COVID hit. I was like, all right, well, let's just bring it back. So that's all I did was bring it back. I brought it back starting with IG. Of course, IG was giving people hell. And then somebody put me on the Twitch, and I got on the Twitch. And the whole pandemic, the whole 2020, I was killing it. It was amazing. And then I came back to New York, and then, just the whole transition kind of slowed me down. And then outside sort of opened back up, so I stopped doing it. And, so now I'm kind of back doing it, and now I feel like I'm starting back from ground zero. But I have a lot more patience with it now. So I still have to just let people know, like, no, I'm back. Yes. I'm doing it. Come, and then also now the whole dynamic has changed. We're not in the pandemic, but we're not locked down. So now I have to figure out like what's the best time when people.
Yep.
So it's a learning process. But yes, that's Live from the Living Room. I used to do themes like every set. I don't do that anymore because that's very exhausting to kind of come up with a theme like every day. You know what I mean? So now it's a free flowing set. It's just whatever the energy, whatever the vibe feels like. Right. That's what I'm going with.
So, guys, I'm telling you right now, make sure you follow DJ CEO and follow Lafayette and Grand. Thank you so much for joining
No,
me
thank
this
you.
evening. I am
Thank
so
you.
happy to
Thank
have
you.
you on the
Yes, thank
show.
you.
I'm always
It's
in
been
awe of your
it's
work.
been a long time. It's been a very long time. So yes, thank you.
A very, very long time, but I'm just in awe of everything that you're building within your brand as the best dressed DJ, because you show always is. And of course,
Thank
with
you.
Lafayette and Grand, I cannot wait to see what's next. And because I already know you're not done yet. There's gonna be something else that's gonna birth out of you.
What? Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. I'm no different than you. I'm a creative, and I'm constantly birthing something else out of me. That's what creatives do. We have no other
Yes.
choice.
Shout
No,
out
no.
to all the creators. Matter of fact, anybody in the chat right now, if you're a creative, go ahead, throw some hearts in there. I want to see who's over here, who's creative in here. But thank you so much, DJ CEO, for stopping by here for Shop Bob Live. It means so much to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Janelle Simone, founder and CEO of Shop Bob. Now, if you are a Black-owned business founder, expert, I want to interview you. That's right. I want to interview you on Shop Bob Live. It's our weekly show where we go deep down into how you created your business. So make sure you hit us up at Shop Bob for more information.